major feature of this index is basically on the water stress measurement by using the thermal infrared, or how does it work?
Actually, I would say the evap transpiration deficit. So actually, the signal was derived from the satellite is the surface evap transpiration. And
Okay.
when we have the real-time evap transpiration, we have like a long-term climatology.
Mm.
Compared with the long-term climatology, we will know if it's water enough or we have like water stress. So that's the main idea behind it.
Okay. And may I ask why is 7 to 14 days? Uh, uh, why is that? Can
Okay.
it be- yeah.
So it's because as I mentioned that this model is actually built in US for like more than 30 years, I would say.
Mm,
And
mm,
then we have been doing like comprehensive validation and case studies of these index with compared with other index. And then we um, averagely we find the situations that when our index started to show the areas beginning to have like the drought occurrency, and then
mm.
the other index has like 7 to 14 days, delays of the reflecting of
Uh,
the data
okay.
as it's evolving. So that's why, yeah. But I would
Uh,
like to mention that
yeah.
next generation of the forecasting
Mm,
product, which is not this way, we actually using the AI algorithms to combine all the historical data and
mm,
then the meteorological forcing data in the future, and then we that's actually forecasting day by day. I mean day by day for the next 30 to 19 days forecasting. It's not like the our current forecasting products is totally different one and a more enhanced one um, that we are developing.
yeah. I like the fact that you had the geostationary satellite to keep looking at this basically our region, um,
Mhm.
and also um, um, the 14 days forecast is already very good for us. We don't even have anything right now, basically.
So
uh,
good to hear.
yeah. Um, Another thing is, um, so is it possible to modify or not modify? I mean, to input our own local data to improve the model, or it's not um, modifiable.
Actually, the local, data either either in situ observations or like local, let's say the meteorological data,
Yeah.
more than welcome to improve our model regionally. Because
Okay.
currently, yeah, we are more than welcome to collaborate with the local users to enhance the model, like
Mm,
at that region they're interested in. Because
right.
currently, let me say this way, the parameters, like the surface parameters, and then the surface leaf LAI, the leaf vegetation green leaf vegetation cover data we are using globally. And then the leaf and the soil parameters we are using globally as well.
Mm,
And then for maybe for the regions over continents, scientists have been working so hard to modify and then to unify the parameters. But over Asia, we haven't done that much of the research.
mm,
So that's why in over the China, we have been collaborating with the CMA to improve
see.
our centers. Yeah, right. And then so over the Thailand, if we have like local, data, that would be wonderful to improve that region. We are
Yeah,
not able to collect, global inputs, but at least we can do region by region.
I
So
see. I see. Um, uh, so you mentioned that you validate your data um, um, by mapping the prediction with the current prediction. Uh, is that right? And have you also done the on-ground validation for
yeah.
your models?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Actually, first, let me put it. Oh, I'm sorry, this is in Chinese, but
Oh, that's
the
okay.
basic
Okay. You can
basic
explain.
is that we have done three types of validations of our products.
Okay.
The first is that we compare to an independent, um, like
Mm.
the drought indexes, and then we have done the special cases of like if our index can catch the specific drought events when it is happen and what how it evolved, and then what the areas that it coverage. So this is like the quantitative analysis of the validation. And then we also do two types of quantitative analysis. And first is compared to the in situ observations of evapotranspiration, because I just explained that our model's first output is evapotranspiration, which is millimeter per day. And then we have the in situ observations of like the evapotranspiration, and we compare how much that our observations can align with the in situ, like the you can see like the curved lines is in situ, and the red, the colored dots is our retrievals. So we align with the in situ observations as well. And
Yeah.
then from the drought index, we also do the quantitative analysis. We do the spatial mapping and then resampling to the independent drought indexes and then to compare the spatial correlation. So the correlation coefficient I'm mapping here is the spatial correlation coefficient that we compared with the MCI for like 5 years
Mm.
data. And this is the validation over China. And over US, we have much more than this amount of
Right.
validation from
Right.
different institute. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So basically, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for the presentation. Very very nice presentation, and
Thank you.
I really want to use it already if I'm the irrigation department.
You
But
have to do that.
let me tell you about what my role and responsibilities working
Hmm.
with the Royal Irrigation Department.
Hmm.
I'm actually from academics. I'm teaching and doing research at King Mongkut University of Technology, North Bangkok, or KMUTNB, under
Hmm.
the Faculty of Engineering, um, and in the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. So we also do space-related projects. And
Hmm.
Dr. Pungsathorn, who is supposed to be here today, and he got confused by the time he might be coming in or joining in soon, or not sure if he's gonna show up, but that's okay. He's also a busy guy, but he's acting director of the International Institute of Space Technology for Economic Development, or instead. This institute is basically working closely with the industry to develop space technology. And we were approached, or we were asked by the irrigation department um, to help them develop satellites.
Hmm.
So their pain point was uh, they didn't want they don't want to use they want to use their own satellites to monitor
Hmm.
their own um, uh, uh, assets basically, and
Hmm.
because it's very difficult to rely on foreign data. um, yeah, because it's not designed for their own use, so they
Hmm.
came to us, and uh, they would like us to help with the satellite development program. That's one thing. Okay, but another program that we are working on right now is they have a private high school funded
Hmm.
by the Royal Irrigation Department foundation. They also have a foundation, and this foundation, basically funded a private school, and this
Hmm.
school basically, um, uh, uh, is basically well educated and well supported by the irrigation department. They have money, okay, and they would like to um, so this is a school where all the irrigation department employees send their kids to study here.
Hmm.
So in the future, these young kids will also eventually, work at the irrigation department, hopefully for them. Um,
Mhm.
and the pathway, one of the pathways for their career paths is to send their students to our university for a
Mhm.
space program. So we right now we are having the collaboration in terms of um, building a space program from high school, and then
Mhm.
select some students to go over to come to our department, mechanical and aerospace
Mhm.
engineering department, and do space technology. Um, so that's the plan. And as part of the space program, we are um, uh, in order to recruit students, we will have a mini project, like a senior project for high school students. So we right now we still brainstorming with MapPoint Asia to see how what kind of cool projects we can give to these young kids, to
Mhm.
show to the foundation people, the the top level executive people, how
Mhm.
they can utilize space technology to solve flooding and drought problems in Thailand, water
Mhm.
management problems in Thailand. Um, so that's something we're still discussing, and we'll be training these students about space technology and how to utilize them. Mostly utilization, not satellite development for high school. Then they'll come to
Mhm.
do satellite development in our university later on. So that's one thing. But the most important thing is we would like to have a showcase for the executives, for the management people that you
Mhm.
know utilizing uh, available commercialized or open sources technology right now could be a potential to solve the country or national problem. So that's something that we are working on right now, and hopefully HD could be helping us in terms of you know coming up with some cool projects, and eventually hopefully if they like it, the executive people like it based on the students formats and
Mhm.
presentations, we can also move on with this kind of projects in the future. It's um it's not a direct way to work with the foundation, but because we have this kind of education program with them right now, this is the direct direct way for us, direct methods for us to work with irrigation department. But normally they don't normally just go and do procurement for for something that they're not um, uh, aware of or they're not used to. So
Mhm.
this is like um, a strategy for our team to work with them, and hopefully in the future they can you know collaborate with you. So that's the scenario at the moment. That's what we are working on right now. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so that's why I was very interested when MapPoint Asia reached out to me about this kind of technology. Another potential technology that another potential not potential another pain point from the irrigation department is they are very concerned about water security.
What is great? Mhm.
Yes, this is something that in their top priority, not
Mhm.
just from the high school. It's actually the whole department, um, because Thailand is very vulnerable to water security, um,
Um,
and yeah, they don't have you know uh, they don't have resources or
mhm.
technology or even people to deal with this kind of situation. So if something happens, you know, we done. Our country is, we can manage our water, with the right tools, with the right resources. So it's
Mhm.
something that they're most concerned about. Um, yeah. So yeah, this is something that I can inform you right now about. Uh, my current situation with MapPoint Asia and the irrigation department.
Wow, that's really a lot of information that we didn't discuss before with MPA, but very exciting to know that you are interested in these four specific aspects.
Yeah,
Um, as for your first, I will just go through like what you just said, and then
yeah,
we can come to like in further collaboration plan later on. But we
yeah,
just need to discuss what's the real like request from you, and then our like Hui Tian and MPA can work on later on for the solutions. So
yeah.
for the first one, you mean that they prefer the local satellites instead of like China or like Europe or
No, no,
US.
I'm not saying that. That's their own future plan. Right now, they're using they're buying some satellite data from, I don't know, from many people, I guess.
Okay.
But
Mm-hmm,
those data are some they it's not timely. First of all,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
um, it's not that accurate for them to
mm-hmm,
do the water management, and you know, so these two factors are really their main concern, and they can't manage very well because the frequency of the satellites,
mm-hmm.
that come over Thailand too low, I guess. So they can't update, or they can't manage well enough.
Oh, I see.
That's the kind of thing that they feel like if they don't do anything right now in terms of their own plan to do the satellite development, which is a long plan. Not It's not going to be like a you know 3 or 5 years. So it's a long term plan. That's why they start with the high school student right now, and college students, and in the future, because they want to have the foundation to do their own satellite development. It's a long term strategy, right? But right now they're using satellite data already. Yes, yeah,
Okay, I see.
yeah,
Yeah, as long as this to this part, our company and MPA, I guess,
mm,
have access to the Chinese satellites.
yeah,
Some of the meteorological satellites are free to use,
right,
with like a certain like constrictions, and then a lot of like the US, which I have been working a lot, is like free from the US and European, and then we also can do some commercial, satellite data,
yeah,
only when we need like higher resolution, and then
right,
over like certain period we purchase it under certain situations. So if you yeah if you would like to start with the like what we already have, the archives that we could plan to start with, and then as your students have been like manipulate the already existing satellite data frequently, and then we could explore like more data to
yeah,
fit.
yeah,
So yeah, that should be no problem. But the problem is that I mean the issue is that you have to targeting what kind of like applications you are using, because different you are using like different
yes,
satellite, different
yeah,
purpose. So for that we need a plan to know what you are going to do, and then we could list satellite data that are available for you.
right, right. You're right. Because actually it's uh, these high school student projects,
Mm-hmm.
um, we don't give them um, like a problem. We ask
Mm-hmm.
them to develop their own challenge and come up with their own innovative solutions. And there are many groups, they're just not one, right? So
Mm-hmm.
but obviously it have to be based on solving water management problems in Thailand. So obviously it's going to be based on these data
Let
collection.
me interrupt this a little bit.
Yeah,
That's what we discuss among the doctors and us. Um, is that in order to build satellites of our own later on, but we need to know what kind of satellite is really work for irrigations. So as of now, probably we need to explore and use a lot of data from different satellites because we're thinking that we don't want to start from zero, that building satellites and we don't know what to do with it. So in order to do that, so we have to explore a lot of data from satellites, such as your systems, Doctor. Um, if we can explore that, and then we can build our own satellites that collaborate with, for example, like with the Himawari, or different kind of satellites and different kind of sensors, and working together and help irrigations department to achieve their goal. Maybe just building one satellite or building a fleet of satellites in the futures, um, maybe it's possible for Thailand, but probably it will be um, future um, future task of
Yeah.
irrigation department. Yes.
Yes, I agree.
That's
Again,
interesting.
we can't just go and develop a satellite for them because
Mhm.
it is, even for us, we don't even know what kind of sensor or payload we need to develop. So let me tell you a little bit about what we are doing right now. So we're asking a group of students to come up with their own challenge, right? And we have like a little table, right? So they
Mhm.
can use, the specific sensor to capture something on the
Mhm.
table, right? Then it's a soil, it's a water, whatever,
Vegetation.
vegetation, um, whatever, right? So after this tabletop type or desktop type kind of setup is finished, they will move on to the actual on-field test, because the
Mhm.
irrigation high school has a huge area. So we are given this huge area, like actually like the whole, not the whole, it's like a big area, right? So the students can use those areas to do in like a high altitude sensor capture, um, data collection, and once we
Mhm.
pass that, you know step, we can have some evidence about what kind of sensor or data would be good for specific tasks, just like Pitai just mentioned. And then we, based on these, and some research and development um, projects, we can build a satellite in the future. Obviously, not now. That's a long-term plan. But
Oh, I see.
but drought, you cannot wait. Like you said, it can be it can be a disaster in 14 days or in 7 days. So obviously, they are looking for some solutions. Uh,
Mhm.
so this is something that I may ask for the presentation, and I might start discussing um, with the irrigation people. Uh, Normally, it takes time for sure, but if they request something, if they like to do some trials,
Mhm.
I'll let MPA know. Yeah, but normally it takes a lot of time to because you know the the, the foundation is mostly on education, but
Mhm.
but the foundation um managing people, their students are now the the higher rank people in the irrigation department. So it's something that we have to kind of convince them about the performance or the effectiveness of this kind of technology.
Yeah, I think it's more like a trial and research, and then
Yeah.
these students will be uh, actually even not the students. If we have a trial and we have a school as a backup for
Mhm.
the superior officer in the irrigations, it will be a strong recommendation for the systems that the irrigation can use in the future. But actually,
Mhm.
the drought is coming in a month or two.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, that's why
it is
I
a good timing for us to explore. And
oh, don't we have a water festival coming up?
yeah, we have fall festival coming up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
durian's
sure.
gonna be gone soon.
Oh no.
And the fire. I'm not sure if you get
Yeah.
interested in fire. I think the fire is quite severe this 2 months.
Yes.
I mean in Thailand. So
Yes.
yeah. So yeah. So if that is the situation, we could work. I mean, MPA and Huitin Drought can work with you guys to come up with a trial. So we can combine the resources that we have, and then to provide you guys a trial to do that. So for this specific task, we can do that.
Oh, also you just mentioned about fire. I also, this is not from the irrigation department. I also
Mm-hmm,
work with the, what is it called? National Disaster Mitigation Department.
mm-hmm,
I'm not sure if
mm-hmm,
that's the right name, but um, they
ปอพอ
look
ก็ได้ปอพอ
พอใช่ครับมันเรียกว่าอะไรฮะพี่ไทย
ปอพอ
disaster management, disaster mitigation. I don't know, something like that. But
disaster
anyway,
management and mitigation
yeah. So
belong
uh,
to Ministry of Interior.
I think so. I think so.
Yes.
So we are also working with well, our university. Also collaborate with this um, department. They also again they also come to us and ask about what kind of satellite technology that
mm-hmm,
used to help them providing um, informative uh, in you know some some data, so some information uh, for some local organizations to help deal with the wildfires.
wildfire.
Yeah, yeah. So if you have some of that solution, something like that, we can also. I will be really interested in looking into it. And
Actually, we do. So I have some
oh,
backup
good.
like this. I have been preparing what we have in all the slides.
Oh, very
But
good.
I don't know what you are interested. So I just actually about the fire. We recently have the so let me jump this um slides too here. So about the fire monitoring and
Mm,
assessment, our company kind of like do three part of things. Like before fire occurrence, we are doing the fire risk forecasting. So which is basically show a map showing that what's the probabilities that the region will have the fire in the like I mean in the like 1 month or 2 months
mm,
ahead of now.
mm,
So this is like the forecasting, the fire risk prediction product,
mm,
which showing like at what region and then what fire risk is that we like defined from 1 to 5, and the 5 is very high. And
mm.
then so here is like the Cambodia 2024 file cases. So somewhere here we have you can see like really high like red points over there, um, um, indicating that there's a high fire risk over that region. And then this is like the April 13th data. And then
Mm,
what is actually happening is that it has the fire that day. So this is the real-time fire monitoring products. We have like the resolution of 375 meter resolution of the products over this region that we covered.
mm.
Why I mentioned that Thailand has like a lot of fires recently, because I have been monitoring
Um,
Thailand from February to now, and we can see like a
mm,
lot like the active fires actually happening in
mm,
Thailand. So that's why I'm curious. So this is the second step, which is the actual fire monitoring. And then after that, have like the tools to assessment how the fire, like how many of the areas that the fire has been impact from the
mm,
satellite point of view. And so we can give the government or like the local government the information that, okay, how many of the land has been impacted by this fire, and then how much of the economic losses associated to this file. So this is the whole set of the file, product systems that our company have been developing. So from the file risk forecast to real-time file monitoring to file assessment. So I'm wondering if you guys, this is like something that you guys seeking for. But if you have specific needs, let us know so we can modify our products to suit to serve the Thailand area. So this is the most recent
Mm,
products, and then products is running daily. So you will have this kind of the map every day.
very good. Um, so how frequent is it being updated?
So right now it's updated daily.
Daily. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's,
Mm,
currently it's updated daily.
mm, okay.
For the forecasting products, we may be able to update it every 6 hours. So every 6 hours, we are rotating our inputs data and then forecast like the another month from now. But monitoring products are currently stated at the resolution of 375 meters. So this is a very high resolution product.
Okay. The National Disaster Mitigation department that I work with, um, there are two groups, or two main groups that are working on this kind of project right now. Um, they have two types of users. Okay, so the first type of user is general public. So they have
Mhm,
this simple application where anyone can log in and see hotspots, right? Anyone, right?
mhm.
This is
Yeah.
a general
Mhm,
public for this kind of group. Another group is for local um, local authorities,
mhm,
um, and uh, some local uh, wildfire groups who have to go manage the actual
mhm,
fires, right? So
mhm,
this group of people um, need uh, like frequently updates on the hotspots, and they
mhm,
want, for example, they get together at 3 a.m. in the morning
mhm,
and look up the hotspot, whether or not today is something going on, and
mhm,
if there's a chance, they'll try to go to that particular area with with equipment, just to make sure
mhm,
that you know if something happens, they'll be there and they will stop the fire. So
mhm,
these are the two main groups. um, I don't have any solution for them right now because I only make satellites, of course,
mhm,
but it's something that I have been asked, or we have been asked by the National Disaster Mitigation, and they have their own funding to support any kind of project. So maybe the first step is maybe in the next meeting, we
mhm,
can also have I can also invite my colleague and MPA and HT to just talk about you know the wildfire prevention
mhm,
scheme, just for this topic only, and we can see um, you know how we can go from there. And then if everything goes well, MPA and I have to develop a proposal, submit it to the National Disaster Mitigation, and ask for the support to do the project. Yeah. So this is
mhm.
separate. These are the two separate things.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Mhm. Um, and for your, so we kind of like diverse a little bit, but it's okay. Let's come back to your
Yeah.
because you have 4 points, and then we have talked about the satellites, and then the second that you mentioned that you have like the private school and the educational purpose to teach the students. So I'm not sure how that MPA and us to assist you that part. But I just have something in my mind that I have some because I have a teaching background because I have been doing assistant a professor for like 5 years in Georgia
Oh,
Mason
really?
University. Yeah, right, I did.
Where was that?
So
Where were you? Where were you?
Georgia Mason University.
Oh, George Mason. Oh, cool.
Yeah, Georgia Mason University. So what we did in US for the remote sensing related training is that we have like courses of the foundation of the remote sensing, and then we also have like a filmed training. Like we have like 4 or 5 courses. I mean like the classes for one theme.
I
So
see.
if
I
you
see.
like, take the fire as an example, so in fire we have like 10 classes, and then starting from let teacher let the students to grab the data first and then process the data and
Right.
then plot the data and then analyze the data. So
Right.
this is the whole thing like targeted to one application. So we have a lot of like the themed training courses, and then I would say a lot of them, like
Yeah.
hundreds of them,
Right.
starting from like yeah, like the fire, flood, and the vegetation, and all of them, and then
Right.
like the landslide, which happened last month,
Oh, nice.
to the landslide. Yeah, right. So if you're interested in that, I I would say that MPA and us can come with a proposal, like what topics that you are like on your list, and
That's
then we can find a ways to support the topics,
oh,
and
that's good.
then either MPA scientist or us can like help with the training.
Right.
So we can prepare the data, the code, and everything.
Very
So
good.
that makes complete course. And then these resources that is very mature in the current like US training. So
Very
maybe we
nice.
could, yeah, we could apply that to Thailand if you're interested in that.
Yes, yes, I
Mhm,
am very interested in. Like I told you, we are the satellite maker. We normally we like we don't do uh, you know remote sensing in terms of data
mhm,
utilization. So it would be very helpful to have MPA and you as our collaborative partner for our
mhm.
especially education projects. So yeah,
That's very nice. So for the second aspect that you mentioned, how about I put down this way in the note that you gave the MPA a list of like interesting like the topics that you're interested in,
sure.
and then we can come up with the course like the title for the topic that you're interested in, and then we will see like how many like lessons within each of the theme, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
That's that's.
Basically, it will be based on the actual national problems,
Mhm.
wildfires,
Mhm,
flooding, drought,
mhm.
um, and yeah, a lot more. So we have our country has a lot of problems. So
That's every country. That's every country facing the disasters. That's like
yeah,
U.S. fire is really terrible in early
yeah,
of this year. So yeah, everywhere it happens. So as the flooding, drought, or any like topics that you're interested, you can send us a list,
sure.
and then
Will do.
we can go from there. Yeah, and then the third one I would say is the most related to what we have been doing right now.
Mm.
That you wanted a showcase for the management to use it
Oh
use
yes,
the remote sensing data
yes,
for like the national to deal with the national problems.
right,
This is a very broad topic, but
right,
if we take like the drought as an example, how
yeah,
like our YDI can assist them like the Thailand
yeah,
drought. This is the main purpose that our
yeah,
my presentation is targeted.
yeah.
Um, so um, my question is that
Mm.
is the content that I just presented, specifically the 7 services that we provided to our current users, is enough for Thailand? If it is, then I'm very glad to know that because we
Yeah.
already suited up for that. And
Mm.
if no, please let MPA and us know that what other requirements that you need, and
Okay.
then we can work on that.
Yeah. So I would probably take your presentation file and discuss with the irrigation department and also my team and also um, and see what we can do, especially based on the trials,
Mhm,
student project. We can run it quickly, basically,
mhm,
and see how it goes from there. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah. Whether or
Oh,
not we need more or whatever, so we'll probably give you some feedback.
mhm.
Yeah,
That's awesome. And then the fourth one, which is the last
yeah,
one that you mentioned, is the water security.
exactly.
Um, frankly, that part is the least experience for me myself.
Mm.
But for the water security, I'm not actually sure that what like the in terms of like what is like the flag
So it
or
actually is quite related um, on flooding, drought, water management, everything. But the thing is, if there's a shortage of water